It may be April, but this month is no joke when it comes to new Nintendo Switch releases, as over 42 games are hitting the hybrid platform this month. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and it is that time for our monthly video where we tell you every Switch game coming out over the next 30 or 31 days. This month is marked majorly by Labo and its different Toy Con. We'll discuss that when we reach the 20th. No other real major first-party game, but we do get South Park and a whole boatload of other fun fare. Gabe, are you ready for adventure?
I'm ready for an adventure with my pal.
Hey, well, what are the odds, Gabe? Because the first game we're talking about is the Adventure Pals, releasing on April 3rd for $14.99. This is a game about love, giraffes, and hot dogs, a.k.a. a game about Gabe.
Wait, are you a giraffe?
I am a giraffe. I hope you knew that I have a helicopter tongue.
There's a lot of love in my life. You are basically a giraffe. And I don't eat hot dogs, but hypothetically I do. So
you store them, though, in your house, right? For, like, the aroma?
Yeah, because I'm all about aroma. I'm all about anything.
This game is from Massive Monster, and it very much looks like it's a Behemoth production. This could very well be the sequel to Castle Crashers. Not sure if it will have that notoriety, but the creatures and the overall aesthetic is very reminiscent. It has 2-player simultaneous play, and it actually looks pretty darn cool. It's charming, if nothing else. I really like the aesthetic, and it mixes action platforming levels and RPG towns where you can go grab quests, buy items, and talk to some of these strange folks. But we got to move on because there are a lot, and that is why we're going to Penny Punching Princess for $39.99, also on April 3rd. This is a very strange game. It is an isometric brawler where you bet/bribe the monsters to lose or to not fight. I was reading about this the other day. It actually looks quite interesting. It's got a very Disgaea almost vibe to the art, but a wholly different concept, and one that I actually want to check out, Gabe, because if there's anything I like to do, it's bribing people to not fight me.
And this game is actually made by NIS America, so it makes sense that you talked about this guy here. And you might not be able to tell this just by looking at the game, but it is a $40 game that's also at retail. You can purchase this at retail.
Yeah, it hit other platforms as well, and is one that I think I will check out. But Gabe, maybe you're more of a Metropolis Lux Obscura fan. This game hits on the grand date of April 4th for $7.99, and the tagline is, "This city is rotten to the core." That's very alluring. And then from there, it just gets all sorts of weird. It's got really interesting comic art. They make sure to let you know that there are gorgeous, sexy girls as one of the bullet points. 12 mental disorders and bad habits to unlock. Amazing soundtrack, rich and dramatic story, and then a match 3 battle system. Also gave obscenity and sexism.
There's a demo available. If any of that sounds appealing to you, the game is $8. You can go check out the demo at the very least, right?
It's just a strange. Yeah, I mean the art is cool, but their chosen bullet points are leaving me a little worried. Urban Trial Playground for $19.99. It is basically Trials on Nintendo Switch. It hits April 5th. It has 2-player multiplayer, and it's one that Gabe has played. There's split screen, Gabe, which I know you haven't checked out, but you did mess with the single player. How did you find this Trials alike?
It's Trials without the charm of Trials. I mean, it's way easier. It's not as difficult. There's not like the creative levels or anything like that. But what's there? It's perfectly adequate for the price. Do I think it's a must buy? No, but I do think you can have fun with it. There's like 50 something plus levels to do, plus the multiplayer, and there's even like online stuff that you can do. So it's fine if you're into that. If you really, really want to play something like Trials on Switch, this fits the mold, but I wouldn't rush out to get it.
Yeah, it did look a little easy when I was watching your video. I was hoping for a little bit more difficulty. There are over 50 stages, so perhaps it picks up as you go. I really like the aesthetic. It's got a very spring break vibe, so I'm digging that. But I'm also digging a good puzzle. I actually like to dig through puzzles to find the corner pieces, and that's just what you can do in Animated Jigsaw's beautiful Japanese scenery for $9.99, April the 5th. Make some puzzles. I don't think we need to spend much time on this game. Digital puzzles seems like something isn't like the point of a puzzle to physically touch the pieces, but hey, these are very pretty pictures of beautiful Japanese scenery, and maybe you want to take your puzzles on the go. Puzzles are hard to move. My mother and my brother were making a puzzle, and they spilled it, and they have never finished. So perhaps that is why this is on an electronic platform. And the puzzles all scale. You can do the puzzle in a 60-piece variety, a 240-piece variety, and a 120-piece variety, which is out of order, but that's how it's listed.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next listing, which is Arcade Archive's Ninja Kid for $7.99 on April the 5th. Continuing the illustrious series, we get a game about infiltrating the castle and using your special shurikens and body slams to defeat enemies and get the treasure back. It was released originally in 1984, and now it is faithfully reproduced for the Switch. Please enjoy this masterpiece, Gabe. It built a generation for video games.
Hamster Company made this. You can do 2 players simultaneous, like with most Arcade Archive games, because that's kind of how arcades worked. $8 the price for all of these. Zach, you kind of remind me of a Ninja Kid, so I feel like this game's for you.
Yeah, they're a very cute ninja. I definitely will give you that. Super Rocket Shootout hits on April the 5th as well for $9.99. Again, with a very, very vibrant style. This game is a frantic brawler that you can play with up to 4 players. So bring in more competitive action. There are 8 different characters, 8 different stages, and it was developed by a one-man development studio, which that alone has me interested because that's beyond impressive, especially in 2018. It is local multiplayer, so that could be fun. It looks a little generic, but if you are looking for something of this variety and you're waiting for Towerfall, or you're waiting for RUNBOW, or you're hoping for speedrunners, perhaps you can get in on some Super Rocket Shootouts. Now then, Gabe's game, April 5th, $11.99, Sling Ming. Hang on tight in this on-rails puzzle adventure. Grab your helmet, princess, you're in for the ride of your life. Gabe, I feel like that's what your alarm clock says to you every morning. Grab your helmet, princess. You're in for the ride of your life.
My alarm is very weird, according to you. My alarm is actually just a very basic alarm, but yeah, weird price point, $12.
It's got a touching story.
I'm all about touching stories. Yeah. I like being touched.
Beautiful worlds, catchy soundtrack, big-hearted adventure, and you're kind of like flying on this rail system, which I think is an interesting concept. I'm surprised it's $11.99. But, hey, if you're into slinging around and surviving a mix of action and puzzles using physics, timing, and logic, could be your cup of tea. You know what's my cup of tea, Gabe?
What's your cup of tea, Zach?
Summer, but that's not what this game is called. It's called Sumer, and it is a board game. I love Euro-style board games. You may not know this about me, but I'm a big board game fanatic. I have a closet that is colossal when it comes to these kinds of cardboard inventions. And this is a 4-player local board game by Studio Wumpus. It blends the intrigue of turn-based strategy with the excitement of real-time action. Board Game Night is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it's kind of a cool idea. I don't believe this is a real board game. It is specifically crafted for the electronic entertainment devices in your life, and it looks kind of interesting. It's got that voiceover in that long-lost Sumerian language. It's got lovely visuals inspired by Mesopotamian art, and it has under an hour playtime, which is perfect for board games. And I don't know. I mean, it's $14.99, which is a little much, but it does look kind of cool.
Yeah, you and I have played many a board game together, and this one would be fun. Sadly, probably no online stuff, so we would have to wait until we're in the same room again. But even when the Switch first came out, my friend, your brother, Jake, always said that like board games would be fun on Switch just because of the hybrid nature of it. You could play tabletop. This would be right up that alley.
Yes, it would. And also right up the alley is Octocopter Double or Squids. I don't even know how to interpret that title, but at $2.99, maybe you don't need to. It also releases on April 5th, and it says, "Oh no, partway through their epic battle, the octopus and submarine have lost their way and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Can you help them to work together to escape these deadly depths? To complete each level, you must navigate the maze without crashing. You won't stop spinning, so timing is everything. You are an octocopter trying to escape the mazes, and you can do that in 4-player split-screen action." Now, I would instantly dismiss this if I had never played Astro Bears. But after Astro Bears, there is always the slight chance that one of these super cheap games could become super addictive and could become a super big part of my Switch library. So I will never say never, like Justin Bieber taught me back in the day. Maybe Octocopter is the next big thing.
Maybe, probably not, but yeah, really, this is just not the Octo game I want. I'm still waiting for a different Octo game that's not a part of this list whatsoever.
Yes. Release date incoming on that one. Next up, a game about me and Gabe. It's Johnny Turbo's Arcade Bad Dudes. For $7.99, you can experience basically our life. 2-player co-op play. April the 5th is the release date. Blade and Stryker are going to save President Ronnie from the ninjas. The bad dudes are pursuing the ninjas through the New York City streets. A moving big rig truck, a large storm sewer, a forest, a freight train, a cave, and an underground factory. Goodness gracious, President Ronnie has had a rough day. Please save him now.
All right, Zach, the all-important question here. Which one are you? Which one am I? Identify us here as the bad dudes.
I think that you are absolutely... Okay, I know that you would want to be called Stryker. That just really resonates with you, but you are absolutely Blade. In this picture, you're the dude on the left with the... You're like, yeah! And I'm like, okay.
It's the same dude.
Also, your form is better on the punch, and we know that's real life.
All right.
Goodness gracious. If you want to be creeped out, check out Infernium. It's $24.95, but that is not the scary part. What is scary is this strange robed figure in this non-linear first-person survival horror that will shake you to the core. April 5th is when you'll be shook. It's only 1 player, but it is from creators of the multi-award-winning game Mind Path to Thalamus. It is a brutal prison without bars where the world is the real cell. That's deep. Gosh. Brutal prison without bars where the world is the cell. 17 interconnected nonlinear levels. 6 easy-to-use, hard-to-master skills. Different enemies. It looks very interesting. It's one of those games that's like hard to get a grip on what you actually do. The screenshots almost remind me of like a Myst or a Witness type game, but then they say it's survival horror, so I'm not quite sure where the scary bits come in. But that robed figure is definitely creeping me out.
Yeah, it has new game plus, multiple endings. Maybe there's a lot here for the price point. And I might check this one out. I've had my eye on it just because it looks kind of interesting. Because for a survival horror game, there's a screenshot that has like a beach with a very blue ocean. I'm like, what is this?
Right. Yeah, a very interesting merging of concepts here. And hey, shout out to the fine folks at Undercoders and Undergames who developed and published this title, because they, as their first bullet point, say accessibility matters. When making Infernium, accessibility features have been taken into consideration for physically disabled, deaf, and colorblind gamers, which is really cool.
Agreed.
Next up, we have Splat the Fruit. You sick of those fruits, Gabe? Oranges, pineapple, apple. This is the thinking person's Angry Birds, okay? It's $9.99. It hits on April the 6th. And if you love a challenge and want the freedom of playing a game your own way, you will love Splat the Fruit. Basically, you're placing all sorts of things, girders, trampolines, almost Incredible Machine style, and then trying to get these metal balls to splat the fruit. Very simple concept, very simple art, very simply probably not for me.
Same. Even when Angry Birds was like at the height of popularity, I never really like enjoyed it, so I know that this is not going to be one for me as well.
All right, Gabe, what about The Bunker, an FMV title for $12.99 on April the 9th? It's a live-action psychological horror game starring such renowned actors as Adam Brown, Sarah Green, and writing talent behind The Witcher, Broken Sword, and Soma, which is a talented trifecta. As the last remaining survivor in a nuclear bunker, John's daily routine is the one thing that keeps him sane. But when an alarm goes off, his mind starts to self-destruct. Venture into long-forgotten areas, recover repressed childhood memories, and unlock the dark secrets of the bunker. Goodness gracious, this is a deep month, Gabe. Repressed childhood memories?
Sounds like my life.
Yikes. This also reminds me of 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is one of my favorite movies. But FMV on Switch, interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a go. I didn't know it was an FMV game until, we started putting the list together. I've heard of the bunker. People mention it in the comments sometimes, and I've seen it mentioned on Reddit as well, so I'm going to try it.
Very, very cool. Gabe, are you going to try this game, though? It's coming on April the 10th for $19.99, and it's called Super Daryl Deluxe. Experience high school again. Oh, my goodness. It's just deep all over. Super Daryl Deluxe is an RPG-vania with brawler-style combat set inside of a perfectly normal, sprawling, multi-dimensional high school. Like any other perfectly normal school, its students and faculty are going missing, and the classrooms have been locked down for weeks. No need to worry. There's nothing to see here, but it sure does look like there is. It's a very interesting style. I kind of like what's going on. The Metroidvania aspect is very appealing. The brawler thing has me a little concerned, but at $19.99, maybe it's worth a try.
Zach, you know what has me concerned? The fact that in one of the screenshots, there is somebody surfboarding a shark into a cactus while an eagle is like throwing fire. What is
That's my favorite screenshot right there.
This is absolute insanity, and that screenshot alone means I'm going to try this out.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool, and I've always wanted to be a go-getter named Daryl. So, live your office fantasies and elevate that character to the top of the heap in Super Daryl Deluxe.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll start your own sport advertisement agency and move to Austin.
Hey now, the first half of this month is ultra loaded, and that's why we continue with Masters of Anima on April 10th for $17.99. This is from Focus Home Interactive. It's had some buzz, Gabe. It's an original adventure game that takes you deep into the magical world of Spark. Battle against the forces of evil in strategic, action-packed battles where making tactical decisions quickly is vital. And here is the crux of the gameplay. Summon and control large armies of up to 100 guardians thanks to intuitive and innovative systems. Play as Otto, an apprentice of Anima gifted with incredible powers. Use the powers of Anima to summon an army and save your fiancé while you're at it. All in the day's work, Gabe. But it does look very cool. This sort of Pikmin / Overlord concept of controlling these armies, a little bit of a RTS element there. And it has a very, I don't want to say typical art style, but it is executed with, I feel, quite a bit of prowess. It looks very polished, and I'm hoping that it plays just as nice.
Yeah, and I like saving fiancés, so this game's for me.
Save your fiancé, summon an army, Masters of Anima. Bomb Slinger, Gabe. That's not going to save your fiancé with that kind of an attitude. A Wild West action game filled with explosive single-player action and hectic 4-player deathmatch battles. $11.99, April 11th. Wear the poncho of the Bomb Slinger, a ruthless bandit turned peaceful rancher on a quest to avenge the murder of his missus and destruction of his ranch at the hands of his former posse. The deathmatch modes look a lot like Bomberman. The single-player...
It's probably still Bomberman.
Yeah, but it like has some like duels and some scenes or something. But yeah, it probably still is Bomberman. It's made by Mode 4, published by Plug-in Digital, and it does have that local multiplayer, and it is only $11.99. So if you're jonesing for more Bomberman, which is approaching 1 million copies, I believe I saw.
Yeah.
Hey, you can do it Wild West style,
and you can pre-purchase this one. So get on it.
That's very interesting, huh? All right, Gabe. Another game about you. Burly Men at Sea, $9.99, April 12th. This was released a while back on other platforms. But a trio of large, bearded fishermen who step away from the ordinary to seek adventure. One of Time's top 10 games of the year when it released. It's got a branching story, innovative controls, and a very playful aesthetic. It's by a husband and wife team, Brain and Brain, which I think is very interesting. And it was developed while they were adventuring as nomads and farmhands. So all sorts of interesting stories here. But the one that interests me most is the fact that it's $9.99 and it was one of Time's top 10 games of the year, making it an appealing option for me.
Yeah, such a very pretty and minimalistic art style. And Zach, I am a burly man, as you know. So, if I'm being honest, like the review from like Time, the 5 out of 5 that they give it, Time Magazine's pretty respected. So I might give this one a go.
Yeah, I definitely think it's one of the indie highlights of the month. Next up, Streets of Red Devil's Dare Deluxe, $8.99, April 12th. Video games versus horror movies. Sounds like a Splatfest, but instead, it is a up to 4-player game. Permadeath multiplayer horror beat 'em up is how they're describing it. It was designed to be played over and over again, with each run offering up the potential for new content. There are 6 different playable characters, and an ever-growing level selection work to keep the gameplay from getting old and rotten, while the easy-to-learn but hard-to-master combat allows for plenty of death. Every kill earns you cash that can be spent on upgrades, or to revive yourself when you die. You better learn how to make cash fast and spend it smart, because when you're dead, your save data dies with you, which normally sounds like a horrible way to go, but this actually kind of looks interesting.
Yeah, you're going to want to be extra careful, Zach. Your save data is precious. RIP to my Breath of the Wild save data. That's all this made me think of.
Yes, so again, that is Streets of Red, Devil's Dare Deluxe. It is a mouthful, and there is a monster full of bosses, one of which looks very much like the Demogorgon. All right. Next up, we've got Regalia of Men and Monarchs Royal Edition, launching April 12th on the Switch. It is a game about RPGing. It's already made its mark on PC, but now it's coming to consoles, including the other platforms. And you can traverse through lands of robust turn-based battles, diverse quests, and distinct bosses, bond with dozens of characters who will help you along your journey, tone down the difficulty, or skip battles if you're not in the mood for a fight. That's a unique mechanic. I don't know if I like that or don't like that. But hey, Gabe, you can experience a fair amount of epicness and tons of humor. I like that they're very honest. It's a fair amount epic, but there's a lot of humor. And yes, it does have a very cool art style. I'm not the biggest RPG guy, but if I was, I would probably want to give this a look.
It looks cool, but unfortunately there's like a bunch of these games on Switch that I've passed up on that might look a little bit more interesting, and they're not as honest. They do a better job of hyping it, but this one being honest and saying, hey, there's a fair amount, I'd rather go with the other ones that are hyping me up a little bit more.
It is $24 on Steam, so expect a price around that point when it launches on the Switch. Rogue Aces, Gabe, is also coming on April 12th. This one clocks in at $12.99. It has procedurally generated levels as you fly a plane around the sky, trying not to ever die. It is a high scoreathon, and it's perfectly suited for pick up and play sessions. And you can get a bunch of runs in 5, 15, or even 50 minutes. It initially appears simple, but eventually the controls and mechanics will keep things fun and deep. It very much reminds me of a game that released a few years back on Vita called Luftrausers. I really like that game. This one doesn't look as cool, but it does have a similar vibe. So if you enjoyed that, maybe you'd be up for this one as well.
Yeah, Luftrausers had a much cooler art style, but I do want to say this reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to go to the public library and hang out there, read books, use a computer, things like that. There was this like Flash game that I played that looked an awful lot like this. It was like the exact same game basically. So maybe I'll just get this for pure nostalgia's sake.
Gabe, you know what I have nostalgia for?
Things.
Word searches.
Those.
Word search by Powgi, or Powgi, is hitting on April 12th for $7.99. Over 300 puzzles, Gabe. 27 different categories. You can just find all the words that your heart desires. You can do it alone. You can do it with friends. They are expertly crafted word search puzzles from Lightwood Games.
Yeah, so when The Office gets remade, like in 20 years... Stanley is going to be there, not with an actual puzzle, but with the Switch playing this.
I like that. I like that a lot. But I think I like Death Road to Canada more. $14.99, April 16th. It's built for replay value. Everything is randomized. Locations, event, survivor appearances, personalities. Different story every time you play. It features such things as teaching a dog how to drive a car. 2-player local co-op. 4 characters that you can control with said 2 players. Character creator to put yourself in the game. Find special and rare events, weapons, and characters with strange abilities. Make tough choices in interactive fiction. It's just a game. It's just a jack of all trades, Gabe. A lot going on here. It looks pretty darn cool, and I think it's one that you should absolutely give a go.
Yeah, and I probably will. Loving the art style. I think it looks really neat. And this is probably one of the ones that I'm most excited for this month. Something about this game in particular speaks to me.
I like that. Well, it's probably Canada because that's your ultimate.
True.
You ever see those? There's these people that do like palm readings, but they specifically do it on like what place you should live. I'd be very interested to see where they would put us on this lovely planet called Earth.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll walk the death road to Canada. And we also will rejoice because it's spring again, Gabe. April 17th, $1.79. That might be the oddest price on the entire platform, but it's an educational game for children ages 2 and up. It uses game mechanics to teach children about the seasons. Now, I'm not going to go into much detail here, but I do think this is cool, and it's coming out right around the time of Labo. So if you just happen to pop out a few babies, you want to get them going on the Switch, start them with its spring again, move them to Labo, and then they'll be playing Mario Kart in no time.
Yeah, and then South Park at some point.
Right, but not yet. First, they'll play Wild Guns Reloaded, $29.99 with a box art that says "Wham!" I'm ready. I am ready. The game is releasing on April the 17th, and it's a fast-paced gallery-style shooter mixing the Wild West with steampunk. You can play as Clint and Annie. You can play with up to 4 players locally. There's online rankings and leaderboards, new bosses, new modes, new characters. How far can you get, Gabe? How far can you go?
Further than you by half of the length that you went. Figure that out.
Good.
Kids.
This is a remake of the Natsume Classic. It was supposed to be out this spring, and it's hitting April 17th. There is a retail version as well.
Yeah. Little do people know that box art is actually you and I.
Gosh. We are all over the place. But one place we're not is in RBI Baseball 18 on April 17 for $29.18. No, $29.99. This game was initially released in March for other platforms, hitting Switch mid-April. The only review out there that I see for PS4 is from Push Square, and it says RBI Baseball 18 doesn't really need to exist. Not a promising review, but if you're desperate for a baseball game, I guess you could give it a go. It is coming in at a budget price point. It does have a physical release, and it is made by MLB.com, which is interesting. But it doesn't seem like they have made many improvements over last year's troubled release.
Yeah, to me the interesting part you already touched on was that it was made by like the actual like MLB. So I don't.
That's that.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazier, Gabe? Breaks are for losers. We do not endorse this in any way, but BAFL is hitting Switch on April 19th for $4.99. It is all about pure arcade fun, top-down arcade racing, up to 8-player madness on the same screen. Solo and local multiplayer, up to 8 players, no breaks. I gotta say, personally, there's a mini game in one of the Mario parties like this, and I always found that so darn frustrating. So a full game of this, not for me.
What, Zach? You like your breaks, you loser?
I like breaks, and I also like my racers from behind the wheel. But no breaks on this month because the Switch keeps cooking with Neo Atlas 1469 on April 19th. This game looks strange. The game sees players plotting a course to discover the free world, setting sail across our wonderful flat Earth. It already came out on PS Vita and Steam. It's made by Art Dink, which won the award for cutest company name. It is a map-making adventure title. Frankly, this is one of those ones that I just like. It puts my brain in a jumble. I'm not really quite even sure what's going on.
Yeah, I probably have to agree with you. I don't really play games like this, so yeah, I don't know.
I wish I could tell you more, but it really does look weird. There's a video with a cat lady describing it. It's $30 on Steam, so accept a similar price. And you're literally trying to discover the world and make weird maps, which I guess that concept is kind of cool, rewriting the globe, but explore and uncover the world, look for hidden treasure, chart out the world map. I feel like there is a very small subset of people that this would appeal to, but if that is you, then hey, your wish has been granted. Let's grant another wish, Gabe. The Way Remastered. April 20th, $14.99. It's a remastered version of an award-winning puzzle platformer. It tells a story about a member of Space Explorers team who lost his beloved and cannot accept her death. Gosh, more just deep emotion and feeling. Immerse yourself in the amazingly detailed world of 200 screens filled with alien flora and fauna. Feel the rush of adrenaline as you experience challenging gameplay in this retro-style adventure. They've added things such as voiceover, graphical improvements, HD Rumble, music player, and game and level design changes based on players' feedback.
Yeah, I've never heard of the way, but I'm very, very intrigued by this. It's a very, very pretty game. It's still pixelated art style or whatever, but it's done in such high detail. I'm gonna try this one, Zach.
Yeah, it's almost like they threw the game on Instagram and just like maxed that detail out, because it is very dense in its art, which I think is helps it stand out. And I agree, it does have stunning graphics, as they say right here. It's a story-based puzzle platformer, and one that we will look forward to. Also, Gabe, that came out on April 20th, but there are bigger bones to pick. And I'm going to pick a cardboard bone, and I'm going to build a robot out of it, because Nintendo Labo hits on April 20th. You got the variety kit for $70, and then you have the wonderful robot kit, which I know is what Gabe's looking forward mostly, for $80. There's also the extra pieces, or extra, it's the customization set, so extra little labels and stickers and such, for $10. So all of Labo, all of your cardboard joys and toys are releasing on said day. We will be in, we will be getting it, we will be racing to build these 5-hour monstrosities, and hopefully having some fun.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we say about Labo? We've talked about it a lot in other videos. We're very excited for it, and it is Nintendo's big release for the month, so we're definitely going to check it out.
Absolutely. I'm actually legitimately pumped. It's a long video, and my voice is going, but I promise you, I'm actually really excited for Labo and to see how it sort of rewrites what a game can be. The month heats up, though, on April 24th, even further, with South Park: The Fractured Butthole, $59.99. Never thought I'd see a game like this on a Nintendo platform, but here we are, and it's a good thing. Whether you're a South Park fan or not, it's always good to see other genres being expanded and explored on this platform, and Ubisoft is bringing a very well-received RPG to the console. I wish it was not as crude as it is. I know that's the name of the game, but I think the systems are very interesting. It's hard for me to stomach some of the jokes of this show, but not a whole lot to say. You know what this game is. It came out a while back, and hopefully the Switch version runs well.
Yeah, but speaking of games that are crude and you might not be able to handle, Zach.
Yes, Galgun 2, April 24th, $59.99. Japan's most infamous shooter makes its long-awaited Nintendo Switch debut. Help swarms of girls escape their demon possessions by using your pheromone shot gadget for euphoric exorcisms. Yikes. Woo the girl of your dreams in a twisting, turning story full of surprises. Become romantically entangled with girl next door. Manage your schedule to receive quests. Equip the awesome Demon Sweeper gadget capable of sucking up demon menaces. It's got optional motion controls, and it just looks like just a crazy old time.
Yeah, I remember when the first Galgun came out, that there was a bunch of memes about it just being weird. And this game seems to carry on the tradition. I think it's safe to say it's not a game for either of us, but yeah, if it's for you, Galgun 2 coming to Switch. You can also get it physical. So
yes, pre-purchase it now. Grab it physical on April 24th. All right, Gabe. More properties hitting the platform. Adventure Time: Pirates of the Enchiridion. Butchering that. I'm so sorry. Fans of the series know what that says, and I'll say it's for $40. This lovely game is dropping to your Switch on April 24th. A big day for games and big day for licensed property. I have seen Adventure Time once. There was a very long and colorful unicorn thing on screen, but I don't know much more, so I will personally probably skip this. But it is an original Adventure Time story, all voiced by the show's original cast, and you can explore the land of Ooh freely, discover secrets, collect loot, upgrade your heroes, use items, spells, potions. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah, I know Adventure Time is a cartoon. That's about the extent of it. So I don't know.
I do like that you get to interrogate. It says you can unleash a little bit of good cop and bad cop, where you gather info, collect loot, and learn about side quests and secret map locations that will help you get to the bottom of this wet mystery, which sounds very interesting. One that I am more familiar with is RUNBOW. hitting Switch on April 24th. It's coming retail in June, but 13 AM Games is bringing the game to the eShop on the 24th. It has it's a little confusing. It looks like the digital edition is just the original game, and then the deluxe edition is what's hitting retail with DLC and some other physical goodies that they've yet to announce. But this is in the same vein as Speedrunners, Ultimate Chicken Horse, those sort of games, these fast-paced local multiplayer games. I really enjoy these. I'm really excited to play RUNBOW. I missed out on it when it released initially, so I am definitely picking this one up on the 24th.
Up to 9 players, Zach, online, so that's probably a good time.
I find it interesting that it's 8-player local, 9-player online. Like
the host, man.
Yeah, I guess. Very, very interesting. What's also interesting is Drago Dino. This game is $9.99, April 27th. Fight your way to the top in Drago Dino, an epic adventure set in an ever-changing world. 10 levels, 2 difficulty, 2 playable characters, 40 power-ups, 50 enemies, 3 bosses. The list goes on. It does have local co-op. It's made by Plug-in Digital, and it's not probably for me.
Yeah.
But it does have dinos, which I do appreciate. And hey, it's Bob, a cute Drago Dino. You can guide him through 10 levels, and you can check it out for yourself later this month. Firefighters, the simulation game, is hitting Switch late April. If you want to be a part of that profession, that's the word I'm looking for here.
It is.
It's hitting on April
24th,
so we're a little bit out of order here, but that's okay, because this game allows you to experience the thrilling work of a professional fire brigade, extinguish house fires, track down hazardous substances, escort a nuclear waste transport, and much more. These firefighters they got a lot of responsibility on their shoulder, and now you'll learn about it as you can operate special vehicles, turntable ladders, robots, tank trucks, hook lift trucks, turbo extinguishers. I remember playing this firefighter game at Chuck E. Cheese when I was younger. I was really good at that. I don't know if my skills will carry over since this is more simulation. But
direct translation, Zach. Direct translation.
We shall see when it launches later this month. All right, Gabe. Now we're getting to another big title, and again, a licensed property with Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy, April the 26th. It's already available on other platforms, but it's coming to your eShop on the 26th. It brings the 3 Ultimate Ninja Storm titles together and allows you to fight as your favorite ninja, utilizing your favorite ninjutsu, and conquering an anime that has over 700 episodes.
It's a lot of episodes. Have you ever watched Naruto?
I have. Me and Jake of legendary Switch Force fame, when we were much younger, we would watch it together. Before it was even in America, we watched the subtitled version.
Cool.
Yes, I actually am excited and interested for that. I'm glad it's hitting Switch. I think they're quality fighting games. And as we wait the long wait for Super Smash Brothers, this will be a good one to kind of tie us over. Even though it's a very different fighting style, it's one that I'm pretty pumped for. I don't think there is a physical release, which is a little odd, but it does include DLC costumes, so you're getting the full package, and I'm expecting that one to be $60.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe, game of the month. We are here. Hello Kitty Cruisers, one of the rarest Wii U games. It earned a score of 3 out of 10 from Nintendo Life, but it's coming back again on Switch, digitally and physically, which is very, very exciting. For all you Hello Kitty fans, April 26th is the day you want to circle. And Gabe, did you ever buy anything Sanrio when you were younger? Did you ever go to Hallmark and get a Sanrio notebook of Kiro Karapi or Pachaco or any of those lovely characters?
No, I don't. I'd be lying if I said I've ever heard any of the words you just said in my life. I've never heard those words mentioned. So
well. It is definitely coming, and it's definitely one that you need to get ready for, Gabe. I'm fully expecting this to be your jam, and I want you to make memories for $39.99 when it releases. Now, Amazon is listing April 30th. We also have an April 26th date, so some of these are a little bit nebulous. So stay tuned to your favorite local Hello Kitty account to know exactly when that's hitting. But 12 Orbits, Gabe, we know that for sure is hitting on April 27th for $199. And it's the tagline is brilliant. Play with everybody at once, anywhere, anytime.
That's all
everybody, anywhere, anytime. There are 4 different game modes, local multiplayer, 20 maps. The setup is done in seconds, and it says it doesn't require any prior knowledge or additional controllers. Your left and right Joy-Con or even the touchscreen alone are all you need for any number of players. The only limit is how close you'd like to be together. You'll score goals, color spheres, defend your territory, try to grow as long as possible. It's 1 button per player, and the rounds last 5 minutes. Again, I would dismiss these games, Gabe, but Astro Bears has taught me that stuff like this can potentially be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, for $2, worst case, you try it for an hour, you don't like it, and you delete it, and you lost $2. But it happens.
Yes. Yeah, that's one that I'm. It's just got like a fascinating art style too. It's
just dots.
Yeah, the longer you stare at it, they start to move. So let's move on to deep ones. April 28th for $49. It's a retro arcade platformer with multi-genre parts inspired by ZX Spectrum, BioShock, and HP Lovecraft. It has a philosophical storyline game, classic arcade gameplay. And your hero has crashed a submarine due to the Great Red Octopus. And now you are trying to walk the bottom of the ocean, be the deep diver that you know you can be, and try to get your submarine back on track.
Yeah, demo available. You can go try that now. If this is going to be your joint at the end of the month, you can get ready by playing the demo.
You can also play Polygon, which is bringing FPS action to the Switch. It is $14.99, and it's also going to be on Xbox One, PC, Steam, and Nintendo Switcheroo. That game is launching sometime this month, and while we wait for Murphy's Law, this kind of looks cool, Gabe. It's a roguelike randomly generated shooter, which is interesting, and I kind of like the look.
Yeah, very minimalistic, but still vibrant look here to the graphics.
It reminds me a lot of Thinking Things. If you ever played that computer game way back in the day, shout out to anyone that knows Thinking Things. 1, 2, and 3. My mom worked for Discovery Kids, and I got a lot of educational computer games, and this one reminds me of that. Even though there's no shooting, it's just the art style. It's the look.
Yeah.
It's the look and the love, and that is the look of the month. April in the bag. Those are your releases. I'm sure there will be some surprise hits along the way, some games that just spook up out of nowhere and say, boo, we're here for you. And those, hopefully, will be fun. But Gabe, any highlights from the month after going through each and every entry?
I didn't play South Park when it released on other platforms, and I actually find South Park still like strangely endearing from time to time, so I'm probably going to check that out. That's like the one big one. Labo is something that, of course, stands out because we're very, very excited for it. And the way remastered, I think that is a neat looking little indie. Where we talked on the graphics looking so beautiful. So those are the 3 that I'm probably most excited for.
Very, very nice. I'm all about Labo. I really am interested to see how that pans out and how the final product feels once I have it and get to build it, and see, just what that does for Switch, and if it ends up being a major factor, or just a one-off that doesn't move the needle. It fascinates me in so many ways. I also definitely want to check out Masters of Anima. I think that looks really cool. Summoning up to 100 little creatures and saving your fiance. It doesn't get much better than that. Honestly, it's a little bit of a slow month, if I'm honest. But hopefully, like I said, there will be some surprise drops that do impress. And I think there are some previously released titles that are being ported over, such as Burly Men at Sea, that do look cool and could give a little bit of a lift to April. But let us know in the comments down below what you are most excited for. Oh, also Naruto. I think I'm not like a fan or anything anymore, but I always found those fighting games fun. I played them back on the GameCube, and I know these are newer games, but I'm hoping that they'll be enjoyable on the Switch and run well. So let us know in the comments down below what games you are excited for this month. I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of Labo, but I'm curious how many of you actually are wanting to drop the $70 or $80 to check that out, or the $150 if you want to grab both packs. It'll be interesting to see the sales figures for that. And we'll be back in May, my friends, with another long list of Switch games, that one including such wonders as Tropical Freeze. But for now, these are your games of the month. Let us know your favorites in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and games like this. Follow us on Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And until next time, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Switch Force out.